on the microphones. We're going to use these because it's a big room and your voice can get lost if you don't, particularly if you don't speak very loudly, or my colleagues. So if you press the button on the side here, and they might have switched that on already. There's one on the side. That's it. When the red light comes on here, you know it's working. So if I can ask you to switch it off until you need it. Is that all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Right, well, if I can open the meeting formally then. Good morning and welcome to this meeting of the Newport City Council Licensing Committee. Today's date is Monday the 17th of July 2023. My name's Councillor Kate Thomas. I represent Stow Hill Ward in Newport. Now, I'm going to call on my fellow councillors in a minute to introduce themselves. Our licensing officer, our legal officer and our support team here. And then I'll ask you if you can tell us your name and your address.
Yeah,
right? And then I'll come back to you in a minute. Is that all right?
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
And then we'll hear from our officer first what the case is and why you're here before us today. And then my colleagues and I will be able to ask the officers questions about the case. And then we'll come over to you, and I'll ask you if you will explain what happened, what went wrong or whatever. And I'll ask you when you've said that, I'll give you another opportunity to, if you thought of something else you want to say, or you want to sum up. And we'll be able, at that stage, we can ask you questions as well. All right?
Okay.
And then we hope we'll make a decision today. I'm sure that we will. We'll get back to you in writing in 5 days. And if you want to appeal, you've got 21 days to appeal. Okay, thank you very much. So
Thank you,
if I go first to my colleagues and ask them to introduce themselves, and then we'll go round the room.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
I'm David May. I'm a councillor for Malpas.
Thank you. Hello, sir.
Steve Pontin, licensing officer.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Hi, I'm Nicola Willis. I'm a solicitor and I'm here to give legal advice today.
Hello, ma'am. Hello. Thank you. Thank you. Hello.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
And if you give us your name now and your address, please.
Yeah, myself Rakesh Upadhyay, and the address 392 Kailian Road, the Newport, and my store name is Ideally Store.
Thank you. Right. So if I can go over to our licensing officer now, who's going to present the case today.
Thank you, Chair. Okay, this report, the subject of which is a review of a premises licence under Section 51 Licensing Act 2003 in respect of Ideal Stores, 392 Clean Road, Newport. The purpose is the consideration and decision in respect of a review application under the Licensing Act 2003, and to summarise, the application is for a review of the premises licence made by Newport City Council's licensing authority, acting in its role as a responsible authority on the 25th of May 2023, on the basis that the premises undermines the licensing objectives of public safety and the protection of children from harm. And the proposal is to make a decision on the application to review the premises licence in respect of this premises. If you can just turn to point 1 on page 18. A review application under Section 51 of the Licensing Act 2003 was received on the 25th of May 2023 from Newport City Council's Licensing Authority, acting in its role as a responsible authority, to review the premises licence issued in respect of Ideal Stores 392 Clean Road. The application for review relates to the following licensing objectives: public safety and the protection of children from harm. A copy of the review paperwork and supporting documents can be found in Appendix A of this report. And just to point out that full detail of the reason for the review will be described by Licensing Manager Alistair Dealing in due course. The application was received by the Licensing Authority on the 25th of May 2023, and in accordance with Section 51(3)(a) of the Licensing Act 2003, a copy of the application was served on the holder of the premises licence and on all responsible authorities. Following receipt of the application, the Licensing Authority advertised the application in accordance with the regulations of the Act, thereby inviting representations to be made by interested parties. Any representation in respect of this application made by a responsible authority or interested party had to be received by the licensing authority no later than the 22nd of June 2023. The licensable activities in respect of this premises currently are that we have a premises licence holder named Rakesh Ubadhai of 34 Whitchurch Road, Cardiff. The licence relates to Ideal Stores 392 Clean Road, and it is allowed the sale of alcohol off sales only, Monday to Saturday 8 AM till 11 PM, Sunday 10 AM till 10:30 at night, Good Friday 8 AM till 10:30 at night, Christmas Day 12 until 3, and again on Christmas Day 7 until 10:30 at night. A copy of Part A of the premises licence, which summarises those times, can be found in Appendix B of this report. In respect of representations, during the consultation period, no representations were received in respect of the application. Some background history in respect of the premises. The premises itself is a convenience store licensed for off-sales only and is located on Clean Road, Newport. Premises is situated in a residential and high-traffic area. Clean Road acts as a thoroughfare for vehicles travelling from the M4 and St Julian's to Clean. The location of the premises can be found in Appendix C of the report. Other than the issues contained within the report, licensing are unaware of any other historical issues relating to the premises. And once again, Alistair Dealin will describe the reasons for the report further on. Considerations in respect of the review of a premises licence. Relevant extracts of the Statement of Licensing Policy as regards this application include: the Council can consider a review of a premises licence where it is alleged by a responsible authority, such as the police, fire authority, or in this case the licensing authority, that any of the licensing objectives are being undermined. It views particularly seriously applications for the review of a premises which involves, and there's a list, but if I point you to point 4, applications that involve underage purchase and consumption of alcohol, and also risk to public safety and risk to children. And where a review hearing is held, the Council has a variety of courses of action, ranging from taking no action at all, varying conditions, or suspending or revoking the premises licence. Legal considerations in respect of this application. The decision must be taken following consideration of the representation received, with a view to promoting the licensing objectives, which are the prevention of crime and disorder, public safety, prevention of public nuisance, and protection of children from harm. In each case, the subcommittee may make the following determination: to modify the conditions of the premises licence, to exclude a licensable activity from the scope of the premises licence, to remove the designated premises supervisor from the licence, and to suspend the premises licence for a period not exceeding 3 months. Furthermore, to revoke the premises licence or take no action at all in respect of the premises licence. All decisions by the subcommittee must be within the legal powers of the Council and its committees, comply with any procedural requirements imposed by law, be undertaken in accordance with the procedural requirements imposed by the Council, be fully and properly informed, be properly motivated, be taken having regard to the Council's fiduciary duty to its taxpayers, and be reasonable and proper in all circumstances. Issues for discussion in respect of this application: the content of the application made by Newport City Council's licensing authority, acting in its role as a responsible authority for the review of the premises licence, and any evidence and mitigation provided by the licence holder. That concludes the report, Chair.
Thank you very much. Do my colleagues have any questions? I'd like to ask a question. At the moment, are the premises operating and selling with the provision of a licence to sell alcohol and tobacco?
Yes, they are.
Right, thank you. Right, so if we've got no further questions, which it doesn't seem as if we have, perhaps we can come over and will you tell us, your side of things? Tell us what happened. Just one moment, please. Am I supposed to be hearing from Environmental Health or their representative on this one? Yes, I was going to say, sorry.
So I will hand over to
right,
the licensing
I beg your
manager.
pardon. I'm used to dealing with
sure.
There's your seat there where you're sitting.
In this case,
right,
Alistair Dealin is representing the licensing authority.
Thank
so
you.
He can describe the content of what's happened.
We'll go over to Mr. Dealing now then.
Thank you. Yes, as Mr. Pontin has highlighted, I'm Alistair Dealing. I'm the licensing manager for Newport City Council. But today I'm acting as a responsible authority It may assist the committee if they turn to page 22 of the report, what is Appendix A, what features the application for review. As a responsible authority, clearly we have to ensure that premises promote the 4 licensing objectives, as highlighted by Mr Ponting. In this case, the objectives are being protection of children from harm, but also crime and disorder. The reason for this review, as highlighted within the Appendix A of the report, is on the grounds of public safety and protection of children from harm. Newport City Council, as a licensing team, first received information back on the 22nd of March 2023 that the premises failed a routine test purchase exercise conducted by Gwent Police and Newport City Council's trading standards back on the 23rd of February 2023. A sale of 4 cans of Magners cider for the purchase price of £4.59 was made to a 15-year-old as part of an alcohol test purchase sweep operation, checking compliance. This time the sale was just noted. I think it's important to stipulate to the committee that when trading standards undertake test purchase sweeps with minors, these minors have to comply with strict guidance. They can't wear makeup, they can't look over 18. That person who went to that shop, who was 15, would have clearly been to any person below the age of 18. And we follow strict guidance. So on this occasion, on the 23rd of February 2023, Ideal Stores sold alcohol to a 15-year-old male who would have clearly looked underage. This is clearly concerning and can have an impact on a child's life if they do have access to alcohol, hence why we treat this matter so seriously. Under the Licensing Act 2003, clearly is an offence to sell to somebody who is underage, and this is under section 147.13 of the Act. And those persons who are knowingly selling alcohol to people who are under 18, it is an offence and is liable for a summary conviction to level fine, and once again an unlimited fine could be offered by the courts. And this is a serious matter. I'm sure the committee are fully aware that alcohol can have significant impacts on people's lives. It is a controlled drug, and it's important that when sales are made that it isn't placed into vulnerable people, for example those who are underage. During a follow-up visit made by Trading Standards, what is the common practice, what takes place after a sweep on the 22nd of the 3rd, 2023, it was noted during the conversation that the owner of Ideal Stores, 392 of Clean Road, Newport, had actually changed on the 1st of January 2003 to Mr Upley, who's present here today, who purchased the business from the previous licence holder. The new owner failed to submit premises licence transfer applications, or in fact change the designated premise supervisor on the premises. As such, the underage sale would have been unauthorised and illegal to do so. Once again, not having a DPS or transferring the licence to the appropriate person is once again an offence under the Licensing Act. This means that any alcohol sales made without undertaking that process would be unauthorised licensing activity. Once again, the Act deems this very seriously under 136, and any person guilty of an offence can be liable for either imprisonment for a term not exceeding 6 months, but once again, an unlimited fine. So we have a situation here where we have both an underage sale, but that underage sale was made unauthorised. On the 23rd of March 2023, Newport City Council's licensing officer, Claire Roberts, contacted the previous licence holder, Mr Gupta and Mr Mission. It was confirmed during a brief telephone conversation with the previous licence holder, Mr Mission, that the business was sold a few months ago and there was no longer involvement with the premises. The previous licence holder stated that they believed that the new owner had submitted all relevant paperwork to the local council. Newport City Council's licensing authority, acting as a responsible authority, has made this application for review for Ideal Stores 392 Clean Road, Newport, because it's our opinion that the premises undermines both public safety and the protection of children from harm. The application is supported by Newport City Council's trading standards following a test purchase at the premises in respect to the age production. Further evidence is supplied by Newport City Council's licensing team in relation to licence or activity taking place without a designated premise supervisor. It is the opinion of the licensing authority acting as a responsible authority that in this point in time, when the licensing with premises was operating illegally and then selling to underage, that there was a serious lack of management and control taking place. On the 23rd of March 2023, Newport City Council's licensing officer, Mr. Roberts, contacted Mr. Upley regarding the change of ownership and licensing activity taking place without a DPS and carrying on licensing activity without authorisation. During this conversation, the applicant was notified that there was currently no authorisation to retail alcohol at Ideal Stores and would be required to be removed or covered and could not be sold at the premises until the application to transfer and change the DPS had been received by the licensing authority. During this telephone conversation, there was a follow-up email dated the 23rd of March, what's found in Appendix 1 of our representation. The owner was notified that the continuing of the sale of alcohol could be an offence, again under the Licensing Act. An application to transfer both the premises licence and the designated premise supervisor to Mr. Upley was received by the licensing authority on the 28th of March 2023, and clearly the application took immediate effect. As you've heard from Mr. Pontin today, the premises continues to trade and undertake alcohol sales. Clearly, with the review, we do have serious concerns regarding how that premises was managed at that point in time. The licence was first granted, as Mr. Pontin's highlighted, a number of years ago, and it is felt by the licensing authority acting as a responsible authority that we kindly respectfully request that the licensing committee considers further conditions to be attached to the licence so that the premises can promote the 4 licensing objectives. This doesn't only protect members of the public, particularly those who are vulnerable, but also will protect the business as a whole to ensure that the business continues to operate under the terms of the 4 licensing objectives, particularly the protection of children from harm. As such, the licensing authority acting as a responsible authority asks respectively if the committee could consider the following conditions to be attached to the premises licence. Condition 1, the designated premise supervisor or a personal licence holder to be present on the premises during licensing hours on the sale of alcohol. By requesting this condition, that means that somebody has undertaken the appropriate qualification to undertake alcohol sales. Condition 2, CCTV should be installed in the premises. The CCTV equipment should be maintained in good working order and continue recording when licensing activity takes place. The premises licence holder shall ensure images from CCTV are retained for a period of 31 days. This image retention period may be reviewed as appropriate either by the licensing authority or by any other authorised person under the Licensing Act. The correct time and date will be generated onto both the recordings and real-time image screen. If the CCTV equipment, including any mobile units in use of the premises, breaks down, the premises licence holder shall ensure the designated premise supervisor or in his or her absence, other responsible person verbally informs the licensing authority and the police as soon as reasonably practical. This information shall be recorded in an incident report register and shall include the time, date, means this was done and to whom the information was reported. Equipment failure shall be repaired or replaced as soon as reasonably practical and without undue delay. The licensing authority and the police shall be informed when the faults are rectified. Also, a screen and monitor should be displayed behind the counter, displaying all live CCTV images to members of the staff. The premises licence holder shall ensure there is trained members of the staff available during licensing hours to be able to reproduce and download those CCTV images into a removable format at the request of an authorised officer of the licensing authority or a constable. There shall be clear signage indicating that CCTV is in use, recording the premises. The premises licence holder shall operate and maintain an up-to-date register of refusals of sales of alcohol. This is clearly very important and wasn't present at the time of visiting. And this register should be indicating the date, the time and reason for the refusal of alcohol, which shall be made available for inspection by, again, the responsible authority under the Licensing Act. The DPS shall check the book at least once a month to ensure it's completed and fully up to date. The DPS will sign the book each time it is checked. The premises licence holder should operate and maintain an up-to-date incident book detailing the time and date of individuals involved, an incident that has taken place. This should be made once again to the responsible authority under the Licensing Act, and the DPS once again should check this monthly, and the DPS will sign the book each time it's checked. The premises shall operate a very stringent Challenge 25 policy, and signage should be clearly displayed to indicate this is in operation. The age check shall be made by examining either a passport, photograph driver, licence or pass proof of age card. No other forms of identifier should be accepted. Clearly, the child in this case was only 15 years old, but this condition of Challenge 25 is nationally recognised, and I think it's important that premises where they feel somebody looks under 25, clearly the identification should be asked for. I think this is common practice very much these days, and people who look under 25 are more than willing to provide those ID cards to demonstrate they are over 18. Also important is fully documented staff training to indicate training on the premises licence conditions, as well as the premises Challenge 25 policy must be given. Training must be undertaken in regular intervals throughout the calendar year, at a minimum of 6 months. Staff to sign the date documentation at the conclusion of the training session, acknowledging that they've received and fully understood the training provided to them. This must be made for inspection for the responsible authorities under the Licensing Act 2003. Clearly, training is imperative to all members of staff in the shop regarding alcohol sales. It's ultimately that training that will promote the 4 licensing objectives more than any other condition that we've elected, that once again will promote the 4 licensing objectives. Unfortunately, where small convenience stores have staff, those staff are very much transient, so that means staff will come and go frequently, but it's important that each time a member of the staff is assigned to the till, that they've had that full training, so we aren't in the situation there that the premises was in a couple of months ago, where they are making sales to an underage person. It is important these conditions are attached to the licensing conditions, as it's felt that this would assist promoting the 4 licensing objectives. It is also felt appropriately, and once again respectfully requests the Licensing Committee to consider a small suspension of the premises licence. This is the premises that has committed offences under the Licensing Act and are serious offences, as highlighted within the report itself. We have 2 offences that could ultimately result in an unlimited fine and ultimately a 6 months imprisonment sentence. I think it's important that a suspension may be proposed to allow the applicant to comply fully with the conditions before alcohol is sold at the premises. I think it's important that staff CCTV is up and running until such time that's completed. I think a suspension is warranted. Also, it would warrant a suspension in the opinion of the responsible authority as a punishment. There's a clear failing of management. The gentleman, the applicant here, runs a store in Cardiff and ultimately has run alcohol stores, so it should be ultimately he would have understood that he would require a transfer of the premises and DPS to take place before taking over the stores. This goes back to the point by the responsible authority. We feel at that point in time there was a serious lack of management rather than understanding of the Licensing Act. And ultimately, this has brought about the underage sale and the issues regarding the DPS. Ultimately, that concludes the application from the responsible authority. Ultimately, we are looking not to close the premises down. That is not the intention of the responsible authorities. But we do want the premises to run under those 4 licensing objectives. We have brought this to the committee's attention because we feel it does need stringent conditions on the licence, and it is felt a suspension is warranted by the responsible authority in this case. We do feel that the conduct of the premises at that time is serious. Alcohol, as I say, is a controlled drug, and we feel that premises should be able to have the appropriate management and training to ensure that a 15-year-old child does not have access to alcohol. That concludes my submission. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dealing. Thank you. I'd just like to say at this stage as well, I've had no declarations of interest from anybody in the panel, and we've got no confidential or exempt items today. Now, can I come over to you? Would you like to tell us what happened, why you find yourself in this situation today?
Yeah. Hello. Hi. The staff was very new there that day. I was not aware about anything, what happened, because the incident happened. After that, their staff is never turned up in the store. He just left the place, and even I don't know about this incident until when one of the person coming again, then I knows only. So is it not in my knowledge actually what has happened? I just thought he don't like the place and he just left the place. So this is the things that actually happened there. And since I'm this in store, I'm coming in January in this store. But still the paperwork is in the processing, is not complete. Paperwork is not completed. So all my intention, when the paperwork is completed on my transfer my name, then I will be might change the things DPS and all. Mistake I done the old owner, he didn't inform me. He take off his name from the DPS because that's the only I think I done the wrong.
Sorry, let me just clarify that so I didn't mishear it. Did you say he did inform you?
Yeah, he didn't inform me
Did he tell you he was going to change the name?
No, this is the
right,
thing.
okay.
That's the only thing is I done mistake because when we bought the store, he never saying I'm in the store, but our paperwork is not complete, as I said. So I thought when paperwork is completed on my name, so I will be put my as a DPS myself. But when we make a deal, when we contact to each other, that time they not say any objection to if I keep his name because he's living very close to the store. So he say it's fine. If it's we are a DPS and you can run, and when his paperwork is transferred, it will be fine.
Right.
So, but I don't know. They give it he take his name off from the, like he inform you like he not anymore DPS. I don't know these things. That's why it's like a gap in there. Otherwise, I have a personal license. I can apply straight away. I have no one stop me to be like do these things, and it's just very simple actually. It's not hard for me to do. So this is the reason why this thing has happened actually. Or I think like all the paperwork finish and then I can, because sometimes paperwork is like processing and any issue coming and completion is not complete. Any reason so that's all my done mistake.
Right, thank you. My colleagues have questions, so if we can start. Councillor Morris.
Yes, sir. Maybe 10 years, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, Alan, can you use your microphone just for the records, because we're recording? Thank you. Thank you.
The question I asked was if he was holding a licence in Cardiff, how come he was unaware of the conditions of the licence in Newport?
Yes, sir. Sir, again I'm saying, sir, only I'm thinking, sir, like, let the paperwork is completed and then I'll do my transfer on my name. Because if the person who owed before me, if they told me one time, like, see, day you coming inside, I will be cancel my. So I don't mind to put my, sir. I have a personal license in my hand, everything. Why I'm not doing, sir? I do straight away. If I have an instruction from them, like I take my name off. Can you put it your name as a DPS? I straight away do it. When I know like they take his name away, and then when I know like when the lady coming in our store and they say don't serve alcohol until you are not transfer the DPS, I straight away cover everything, not serving the alcohol for 5 days. Then till the time this thing is happened, because I know how they do until we didn't serve anything, and straight away I put my name. So, but only like is it not my knowledge they take off his name. Now they say anything, but they didn't inform me. If they inform me, I'm going to take off my name and you put your name. I straight away do. I have everything in my hand, sir. I have license with me. I have personal license with me. So it's nothing like I have to apply the license or something. I have, and I'm straight away do, sir.
The conditions that you've applied, should they not have been applied with anyway?
So back in 2005, when the transition of the Licensing Act took place, quite a few of the licence premises had the old 64 conditions attached. They were very basic. Ultimately, things have advanced now since 2005. We feel that more stringent conditions should be on licences, and these kind of conditions that I've requested today would probably feature likely on a new application. But back in 2005, or during the transition, that probably wasn't the case. But clearly, those conditions, what I've highlighted today, as I said, would protect both the business and also those vulnerable people. So the conditions we were asking for would be kind of similar to the conditions we would place on a licence today. But they weren't placed in back in 2005.
Alan's virtually asked the question I wanted to ask, so I've got all the answers that I require from that. Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, I think really Mr. Dilling has covered some of this. My question was, what preparations did you make to take over the business? But I think actually, you know, as you were previously a businessman and you'd owned a very similar premises for 10 years, I am surprised that you weren't aware that there was staff training, There was the
Yes.
the naming of a supervisor, and there were very basic obligations
Yes, ma'am.
that we would have expected you to comply with.
Yeah.
It's too late now. You didn't do that at that time. What I would say for the future is our licensing department is there so that you can ask them questions. You know, so that anybody requiring a license for anything, you know, is going to get the advice. And obviously we're looking at this too late now, but it's a pity that you weren't aware of this and that you weren't able to do, or didn't do this earlier. Can I ask you, I think you said that you had problems with the staff on the evening of this, that this 15-year-old came in and bought alcohol. How many people were on duty that night?
How many person are duty?
Yes.
There's a one person only.
And they did you say that they didn't come in or something?
So I didn't catch you, ma'am. Sorry.
Were they working the whole evening? But it was
No, he just working in the morning. He just, I think, working till 2 o'clock.
right. What time of day was the test purchase?
It was morning stroke afternoon.
Right. Okay, thank you.
But ma'am, honestly, when was this incident happened? He didn't report me like this thing is happened today. He just happily working. I am coming on a work, and he just happily go home. But he's never come back. That's it.
Right. Okay, thank you.
So is it not in my knowledge, ma'am?
Have you provided any training to your staff?
Yeah, always, ma'am. Always.
have?
Or the old store as well, here as well.
Right. Okay.
And we always follow the challenge 25. Even in my till, not all the items, but mainly all the cigarettes. Mainly all the cigarettes and some of the alcohol. If you scan, they're saying, please check the ID.
Yes. Yes.
But I don't know how he done it. I don't know how he's done that.
Mr. Dealing now has given a list of the things which the licensing department require of you now, right? Obviously, clearly one of the most important things is actually this training of staff, and that you have a designated supervisor on the premises when you're selling alcohol. I've got we've got a list of them here. I actually wrote them. I wrote some of them down when we were going along, and I've got 11 things. So there's obviously quite a lot of things for you to do, but are you in agreement to do those things?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and obviously CCTV. We've heard that some of the conditions of a licence that was granted in 2005 would not have been the same. I guess the CCTV one is one of the new additions to that guidance.
We have...
Or those
sorry if I interrupt. Sorry. Carry on, please.
I think they do have CCTV in the store, but we need to have that as conditioned.
Right, okay.
So if for example, the CCTV wasn't working, or we need to access that CCTV, clearly it's within the terms and conditions of the licence. If the applicant then couldn't comply with that, once again, any sales of alcohol be unauthorised. So what we're trying to achieve is to strengthen that licence, what will ultimately be a benefit to the premises long term.
Yes, and from what I'm hearing there, if your premises got a reputation with young people in the area that they could go in and buy alcohol, that would be really bad for your business as well.
Yes,
so it will strengthen your business and your trade. Did you want to say something at that point?
Sorry, I like you said, like we have a CCTV, but if anyone in sometime they come visit us and he can see and it's fine, or that much the things you have to improve in CCTV. I'm really happy to do it, but for my way is proper working, fully recorded. I think 3 weeks recording I think is there. So and everything, like if you want to back up or you want to check anything, back dates or all, I think is working. But all I can say, like if still you want like some more improvement or something more added, anyone come and visit and see and tell me do this more. So
Okay.
I'm really happy to do.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Right, I'm going to return to Councillor Morris.
How much time will you actually spend yourself at the store?
Mostly, sir, I'm coming afternoon like 4 o'clock like that, because I do the shopping and all. I done the cash and carry when I'll come. So like it's almost
So
4 o'clock.
you intend to be a hands-on, that you have lots of involvement in the shop.
Yeah, in the evening I'm in the store, sir. Yes.
How about during the day? Who's going to run it during the day?
The one of the staff, sir.
One of the staff.
Yeah, anyone is staff, sir.
And are they now aware of their responsibilities? when it
Sir,
comes to
I give
all
fully training, sir. Fully training, 2 weeks training, and I take him signature on the paper, like I have a training and all.
Councillor, can I just make a quick question there?
Yes, Mr. Pontin.
Mr Padgett, the staff member you've just described, have they got a personal licence as well?
That guy is no, sir, no.
Just yourself with a personal licence?
Personal license only me, I have, sir.
Right. Any intention to get a staff member to apply for a personal licence, or...?
Because this thing is happened, I thought it's good idea if someone also have a personal license. At the moment not, but now since this thing is happened, I thought to be is good if somebody have in my like workplaces, someone also have, so it's more good.
I would like to ask a question about that. Our personal licence, are we talking here about, so there's a designated supervisor?
Yeah, so one of the conditions is that either a designated premise supervisor is present at the premises at all times, or somebody who owns a personal licence. Once again, that is the recognised national qualification. We feel at this stage of the licence it's imperative that that stringent condition is attached, that there is somebody who has that full qualification rather than maybe, as indicated by the applicant, a 2 weeks internal training. It may be the case that the premises in the future, say for example in a year's time, 2 years' time, and demonstrates that they can operate under the 4 licensing objectives, they could clearly then look for a minor variation if that's felt appropriate to maybe lessen that condition. But at this stage, we feel that there needs to be somebody who is either a DPS or a personal licence holder to take control of that premises, as indicated by the Ideal stores. They've got 2 stores, so it means they're going to have to operate 2 stores. They're not going to be there 24/7, so it's imperative that somebody is fully trained to the national standard at that point in time. But clearly, if they can demonstrate they can comply further, it doesn't mean that condition is attached to the licence all the time. They may wish to vary that at the future, but at this particular point in time, we feel there needs to be controls at that premises, and that is one of them.
Thank you. I mean, we've heard from Mr Opahay this morning that he's willing to comply with the conditions which you've suggested already, and can I just have it confirmed that at any point he can come to the licensing department and we'll get support if there's aspects of this which he doesn't understand?
Yes, and I've already had that conversation outside with the premises.
Right. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Now, any further questions? No. Is there anything else that you want to say to sum up? We want to make sure that we've heard from you this morning, and we've obviously listened carefully to what you said, the difficulties that you had on that day, and the things that you didn't understand. But is there anything that you want to add further or to sum up with?
Ma'am, I'm in this country last, I think, 15 years, and it's me, my wife, and 2 kids. So.
That's all right. That's all right. Do you want a moment?
Maybe I can kind of step in and put in a summary. As a licensing authority, as I said to you, we are not looking for a revocation of your licence. And I think that's an important thing that I need to state. We are here to look to protect your business, but clearly we do have a major duty to protect members of the public and vulnerable people. We're not looking to revoke. This is not our intentions. It's down to the committee. I know. But it is important for the review to be sought that we are protecting those vulnerable people.
Yeah.
And that's from
and going forward, if you know, you've got two businesses. This may help the other business as well if there's things here that you're going to be learning from complying with the Newport Licensing Department. Okay. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I'm going to suggest we finish this part of it now. My colleagues and I, when you've left the room, we'll discuss the case and we'll make a decision today. And you'll hear from us very soon.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
Right.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for coming today. Thank you.
So much, ma'am. Sorry. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.